is now the acid attack capital of the world. It seems that the world is on the verge of a meltdown in humanity on every front, and yet just when it looks like things cannot get any worse, a whole new category for depravity is created. Now we have the acid attack capital of the world. That's right, there have been so many acid attacks committed, by Muslims mind you, in London that it now holds the title. Many of the victims are complete strangers to the attackers, just minding their own business. What is more disturbing is that there is no clear criteria for the victims. It appears that race, religion, sexual orientation, age, and gender do not matter in the least to these animals, and they will simply spray acid in the faces of anyone they think has slighted them in any way. According to Silence is Consent. When you import third world people, you import third world problems. After importing millions of third world Muslims, this one liberal city is now acid attack capital of the world. Leftists will cry racist, and denounce the facts as much as they possibly can, but the reality speaks for itself. When you invite millions of Muslims into your country, they bring their barbaric culture with them. It's inevitable, since they don't integrate. With once safe nations such as Sweden, Germany, and France, all falling to the disease of Islamic invasion, you would think that liberals might catch on eventually. Unfortunately, they're not, and this one UK city is now acid attack capital of the world, thanks to them. Breitbart reports. A burn surgeon who treats many acid attack victims coming out of East London has suggested that the proliferation of such crimes is now at epidemic levels. Dr. Martin Neal, a burn surgeon at Mid-Essex Hospital, told National Public Radio, NPR, in the US that acid attacks in Britain are now at levels that one of my colleagues described as epidemic. In terms of attacks per head of population, London is now the acid attack capital of the world, with a 74% rise in assaults, from 261 to 454, between 2015 and 2016. Hundreds of attacks have already been logged for the first few months of 2017. 12 people suffered burns and in some cases lost their vision after an attack in a Hackney nightclub at Easter, and 2 moped-mounted teens attacked 5 people around London in under 90 minutes in a July crime spree. Delivery drivers in the capital, who are considered easy targets for bike theft assisted by acid, now refuse to work in certain parts of London due to the danger. A high-ranking surgeon also warned that the threat has now begun to pose a serious problem for health professionals. Everyone, ourselves included, has been shocked by this emerging threat to public health, he said. Unfortunately, London's acid attacks don't show any signs of stopping. Liberal news sources such as NPR have claimed that there isn't a relationship between Muslim immigration and the sky-high acid attack rates. How dumb does the liberal media think we are? London wasn't acid attack capital of the world before they started importing huge numbers of Islamic refugees. NPR suggests that acid attacks in the UK actually date back to before Victorian times, citing a case dating from 1831 in which a domestic servant poured acid on a colleague while they were sleeping. Although such incidents were not unknown historically, they were until recently considered rare and shocking crimes, and dealt with harshly. The servant in the aforementioned case was sentenced to be hanged. Punishment is now much less severe, with David Phillips, who blinded and seriously disfigured Andreas Christoforos in 2015, being handed a sentence of just 16 years, with eligibility for parole after 8. Just last year, London Mayor Sadiq Khan, a Muslim, told his citizens that they would have to learn to live with terrorism as part of their lives. Khan has been highly critical of President Trump and his fight against radical Islam. London in particular has been especially open to Muslim migration and immigration, and has encouraged it. As a result, the eastern part of the city is now predominantly Muslim. It's very clear that the liberal media is doing all they can to deny this obvious reality. When you import third world people, you import third world problems. You cannot import millions of Muslim immigrants who come from a backwards, twisted culture, and then suddenly expect for them to leave their old ways behind. It just doesn't happen. For all of you liberals of the world who are currently suffering from some kind of mental SJW disease, Maybe you should reassess your stance a bit on all of the refugees you want to cuddle with. Most of them would rather watch your skin melt from the bone than hold your hands in unity. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.